neurological diseases like psychosis, depression, and anxiety. Now, one more disease is there which is related to this one, that is Parkinsonism. Let us see the details of Parkinsonism too. See, Parkinsonism is a new progressive neurodegenerative disease. Understand that words progressive means as the age progresses, the disease worsens. That means Parkinson usually affects elderly people. Neurodegenerative means when neurons undergo degeneration, that will cause Parkinsonism disease. When people grow old, the nigrostriatal neurons will undergo degeneration, and that is what causes Parkinsonism. Parkinsonism. Now, this disease, it is known as progressive neurodegenerative disease. So progressive means as the age progresses, the disease worsens. Neurodegenerative, the disease occurs because of neuron degeneration. Which neurons? Especially the neurons nigrostriatal. See, nigrostriatal neurons are responsible for our locomotion, and at that neurons, the neurotransmitter is dopamine. Substantia nigra, corpora striatum. Between these two, there is a neuronal tract is there that is called as nigrostriatal pathway. And at that pathway, the major neurotransmitter is dopamine. So when these neurons are degenerating and it is occurring progressively, that results in Parkinsonism. And this pathway is responsible for our locomotion or movement. So the major symptoms for this disease will be bradykinesia. Bradykinesia. Brady, wherever you see brady means it is reduced. Bradycardia means reduced heart rate. Kinesis means movement. Bradykinesia means reduced movement. Second one, rigidity. Rigidity means the muscles will become rigid and they will not allow to move. Next one, resting tremor. Resting tremor. See, tremor means movement. This quite happens in older people. Even though when they are on rest, when they are sitting, their hands or legs will be moving. That is called as resting tremor. When they're about to move, muscle rigidity will be there. They cannot move immediately. Bradykinesia, their movements are very much slower. And all these things are because of Parkinson's disease. And this is a neurodegenerative progressive disease. Now, we have seen the problem. What is the problem in Parkinson's disease? The neurons are getting degenerated and the dopamine stimulation will be reduced because the neurons responsible for the release of dopamine are undergoing degeneration. So what could be our job? To increase the levels of dopamine. Now, when you see dopamine, look at this one, dopamine, the neurotransmitter dopamine is this. So this is an amine, dopamine. Dopamine is synthesized from dopa, dihydroxyphenylalanine. Phenylalanine means one more carboxylic acid group will be there. So from that, dopamine is synthesized. Now, dopamine, because you have got an amine group which is polaric in nature, even if you give dopamine to treat this disease, it will not get directly into the brain. So you need some other drug to convert that, and the some other drug is nothing but levodopa. See, levo is a levoisomer. Dopa means dihydroxyphenylalanine. So this is an alanine group, this is phenyl group, this is dihydroxy. So this is dopa, dihydroxyphenylalanine. Now understand the logic. This is dopamine, DEA. So the molecule which has got a single amine group, because of its polaric nature, it cannot cross blood-brain barrier and get into the brain. See, the problem is in nigrostriatal pathway. You need to supply dopamine to this region, and this cannot cross blood-brain barrier. Now, this one is an amino acid, even worse, you have more polaric nature. But blood-brain barrier has got amino acid carriers are there. So this dopa is taken inside to that brain with the help of these amino acid carriers. Hence, dopa is used. Especially the levoisomer is used, hence it is known as levodopa. Now, so levodopa is a very popular drug to treat Parkinson's disease. The problem is levodopa in peripheral. When people take this drug in our blood, there are dopa decarboxylase enzymes are there. Decarboxylase. So with the help of this decarboxylase, this carboxylic group is removed. Again, you will get dopamine. So this is the problem. So levodopa, if someone is taking only levodopa, before getting into the brain, it is converted into dopamine. Again, dopamine cannot get into the brain. See the difference, levodopa and dopamine, only carboxylic acid group is there. When you remove that by decarboxylase enzyme, which are abundant in the blood, it is converted to dopamine and dopamine cannot cross blood-brain barrier, stays outside. You will not be treating this condition. So levodopa is given along with inhibitors of this particular enzyme. See, the minus sign indicates inhibitors. Now, the drugs which are inhibiting dopa decarboxylase are carbidopa, and benserazide. So, these drugs will inhibit decarboxylation step and it remains as such and gets into the brain. So, the major treatments are using levodopa and decarboxylase inhibitors. But the story will not end here. Not only this, now imagine this one is blood-brain barrier and it is crossing the blood-brain barrier and you have levodopa. This is brain. This is in the brain. So when people take the drug along with the decarboxylase inhibitors, so levodopa amount will be more. It will be crossing this blood-brain barrier, gets into the brain, and again in the brain, levodopa is converted to dopamine, and dopamine is what acts on this nigrostriatal pathway. Hence, you will be treating Parkinson's disease. Now, in the brain too, you have metabolizing enzymes are there. See, dopamine is metabolized by two enzymes, monoamine oxidase and catechol O-methyl transferase. Both the enzymes will reduce the levels of dopamine by metabolizing it. So you have drugs which will inhibit these enzymes. Monoamine oxidase is inhibited. Remember, monoamine B is responsible for the metabolism of dopamine. And monoamine B is inhibited by salicylane and rasaziline. So these drugs are also used to treat Parkinson's because they will inhibit the metabolizing enzyme of dopamine and dopamine levels are increased and the increased levels of dopamine will be acting on nigrostriatal pathway which is treating Parkinson's disease. The other class, catechol O-methyl transferase. This catechol O-methyl transferase inhibited by tolcapone and entacapone. Tolcapone and entacapone. Now see, this levodopa is also metabolized by COMT. So this is also inhibited by tolcapone and entacapone. So what is the advantage of these drugs? They are inhibiting levodopa metabolism too. So the levodopa levels will be increased. They will cross blood-brain barrier, get into the brain. In the brain, dopamine is also metabolized by COMT. But see, this tolcapone can act, it can get into the brain and it can block this enzyme in the brain. In periphery, you have tolcapone and entacapone. Both of them will be blocking the metabolism of levodopa. In brain, tolcapone can also block in the brain COMT also because it can cross blood-brain barrier. But there are certain problems out there. Tolcapone has got hepatotoxicity. So it is not widely used, but we need to remember the class of drug. So we have two enzyme inhibitors are there. Levodopa, carbidopa, and benzerazide combination is there. Now this dopamine will be acting on dopamine receptors. So you can use dopamine agonists too. Dopamine agonists like bromocriptine, pergolide, and ropinirole. So all these are dopamine agonists. So when dopamine agonists are used, they will increase the dopaminergic neurotransmission and they will be able to treat Parkinson's disease. But bromocriptine and pergolide are ergot derivatives. They will cause vasoconstriction in distal regions. Vasoconstriction in distal region means at this end of the hands and end of the legs, blood vessels will get constricted. That may cause gangrene too. So that is the reason why ropinirole is used, not this one. Now, one more thing. There is a relationship between dopamine and prolactin hormone. When dopamine is there, prolactin is inhibited. When dopamine is inhibited, prolactin level increases. Now relate this with antipsychotic drugs. What are we doing in antipsychotic drugs? Antipsychotic drugs, when dopamine is blocked, what happens to prolactin? Prolactin level increases. So all antipsychotics, one of the major, typical antipsychotics, one of the major side effects is increased levels of prolactinemia. Whereas in this case, what is happening? You are increasing the levels of dopamine, prolactin levels goes down. So hypoprolactinemia will be there. Now, one more class is there. It is known as dopamine facilitator. Uh, like there is a drug called as amantadine. When amantadine is used, it increases release of dopamine. So this is also one of the class to treat Parkinson's disease. So all these drugs are acting on dopamine system. You use levodopa, gets into the brain, converted into dopamine. You use enzyme inhibitors, increase the levels of dopamine. Use amantadine, increases release of dopamine. The other thing, see the nigrostriatal pathway, there is a smooth balance between adrenergic and cholinergic system, or dopaminergic and cholinergic system. Dopamine acetylcholine will be in balance, and that will smooth our movements in the brain. During this disease in Parkinson's, when dopamine levels are going down, there is an excessive stimulation of cholinergic system will be. So anticholinergics are also used to treat this. And they are anticholinergics. Anticholinergics. Now, in these anticholinergics, you have drugs like beperidine, trihexyphenidyl. Procyclidine. So all these are anticholinergics which can get into the brain. But understand this, it is not directly treating Parkinson's, rather you are controlling the stimulation of cholinergic. So Parkinson's is a progressive neurodegenerative disease which occurs due to degeneration of neurons in nigrostriatal pathway. To treat the disease, you can use the agents which are increasing dopamine, or the opposite one, which you see. There is a smooth balance between dopamine and acetylcholine. When dopamine is reduced, cholinergic effects will be there, so you can use anticholinergics too. So you cannot use directly dopamine because it cannot cross blood-brain barrier, but levodopa can cross blood-brain barrier because there are amino acid transporters out there. Now this levodopa crosses blood-brain barrier and is converted to dopamine. But in peripheral tissues, levodopa may convert it to dopamine by decarboxylase enzyme. To inhibit this decarboxylase enzyme, carbidopa benzerazide are used. So usually levodopa is in the combination with these drugs. Dopamine, and dopamine is metabolized by monoamine oxidase and COMT. So you block monoamine oxidase by using sertraline and raspazoline, you will be increasing dopamine levels. Or you block the metabolism by COMT, you will increase the levels of dopamine. So COMT is also responsible for the metabolism of levodopa. COMT means catechol O-methyl transferase. So this moiety is catechol. Benzene ring with two adjacent hydroxyl group is known as catechol. Catechol O-methyl means here a methylation occurs, and that is what is metabolism. So DOPA is also metabolized by COMT in peripheral also, in brain also, levodopa. So tolcapone, entacapone, these drugs at peripheral region, they will be inhibiting this enzyme. Tolcapone can also get into the brain and inhibit this enzyme. So these drugs are used to increase the levels of dopamine. The next one is direct dopamine agonists like bromocriptine, pergolide, rotenrol can also be used, or dopamine facilitator like amantadine can be used. The last class, cholinergic system can be inhibited by beperidine and trihexyphenidyl. The other things, when you start increasing the levels of dopamine, prolactin will get inhibited. The opposite to antipsychotic drugs. So this is about Parkinson's. So this class we have seen the psychopharmacological agents, the drugs used to treat depression, anxiety, and psychosis, and then Parkinson. In the evening, I'll continue the class. See, again, today evening, the class will be from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Any doubts we'll discuss in the evening session. Thank you for this session.